Hello and welcome to another video on the Asset Insider channel, where you come to stay up to date on cryptocurrency. As many of you may know, we are having a red day in the market as of today. We have lost about $5 billion in total market cap, dropping from the $130 billion range to about the $125 billion range. I want to go over a couple key resistance and support levels that Bitcoin may hit in the upcoming days. And along with that, I want to show you some light technical analysis and where I think Bitcoin may be heading in the next couple months. And of course, if you do like the information I am bringing to you, if you like my content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Alright, moving on to TradingView. So, as you can see, we were staying steady around the $3,800 level for the past week or so until today when we dropped to about the $3,700 level, just below into the high 3690s. But along with that, we can see that on our last big dip on this candle right here about 5 days ago, we dipped down to about 3650, and as of today we have not went down that low. We have only went down to about 3690, which is not too bad. As you can see, we are riding right on the 100-day moving average, and if we can hold that 100-day moving average, I think we'll be doing just fine. But in my opinion, I think we're actually going to come down to the 50-day moving average, which will bring us to the low $3,600 level, right about 3630, and I think we will come down to the 50-day moving average and find support on the 50-day moving average, which will also coincide with these couple days we had about 2 weeks ago, where we were holding the $3,600 level for a little bit over a week, about 10 days here, before we had this breakout where we went up to the $4,200 level. I think we're going to find support at 3,600 like we did back then, and we're going to make that a good support level and then try and travel back up to break the $4,200 resistance level that we keep hitting. As you can see, we hit that $4,200 level back in January and December multiple times, and every time we broke down pretty quickly. We had these really big candles going to the positive and negative for days on end until we broke down even further down to the $3,400 level. But this time when we went to the $4,200 level, our candles are actually very thin and not very widespread like they were before, showing that there's better consolidation in the price of Bitcoin after this last rally. So I believe that we will be testing that $4,200 level. It seems like we are trying very hard to break it as of right now. I think we're going to come up one more time and actually pass by that $4,200 level. But if that does not happen, I have a very big belief that we cannot break that $4,200 level on our next rally. I believe we could be coming down to the $3,100 level, all the way back down to where we hit our lowest low of the market this year. And I believe when that happens, we will do a double bottom from that $3,100 level, find support, and climb back up. And that may be the last shakeout we need in the market before things start going in a much more positive tone. Taking a look at the weekly chart, you can notice that the BAKKT has been in a bullish crossover for the past 4 weeks now. And that's a good thing to see, because if we can keep that bullish crossover on the MACD, we will eventually get over here on the 1 month chart. You can see we're still in a bearish cross on the MACD on the 1 month chart, but our bearish candles are starting to get smaller, and if we keep that weekly MACD in the positive, it will eventually lead to this monthly MACD going and making a bullish crossover. And once we have a bullish crossover on the monthly, that's where I really believe that we will start seeing a good positive settlement in the market. So, as you can see, I don't know if you're watching or listening, but anyway, I believe this is what's going to happen. These are pretty much our two scenarios. We're either going to hold 36 or break down to the 3100 level. If we hold 36, then I very well believe that we will pass the $4,200 level this time. I will be coming back to this monthly chart in a little bit later in the video to show you one thing that I want all y'all to see. But moving on to my first article of the day, Twitter and Square CEO Jack Dorsey says that the Bitcoin white paper is one of the most seminal works of the last 20 years. I want to go over this article just because it shows some positive things that are happening in the market, and on a down day we can all use some positive news. So continuing on, in a new interview with Tales from the Crypt podcast, Jack Dorsey talks about his early experiences with cryptocurrency and why he decided to integrate BTC with Square's Cash App. On the subject of Bitcoin and blockchain and how they'll impact the growth of the internet at large, Dorsey says he believes a massive acceleration is on the horizon. He goes on to quote, "Imagine being born this year, growing up knowing that the potential for a global currency exists. That is exciting. So, just what that person does. The person is born in this year, and even in the past few years, growing up only knowing that this potential exists. What that person does with that realization is amazing." Then he further goes on to quote, "I think there is a massive acceleration that is going to happen within the next 10 years. Because the generation growing up only knowing these technologies exist, pairing AI with blockchain, and being able to have amazingly accessible environment to program in. This is what excites me, the acceleration points rather than the specific points on the timeline." And this is a very true statement. We may be just barely having adoption happen as of right now with cryptocurrency and blockchain, but keep in mind Bitcoin's only been around for 10 years, and in those 10 years it's actually come a very long way. So imagine all the people who were being born in 2018, they're going to grow up in a world where blockchain has already been adopted. By the time they're 10 years old, Bitcoin will have been around for 20 years. If we come this far in only 10 years, imagine what we can do with 20 years. And for those kids that are growing up in this world where blockchain has been much more adopted than what we have right now, cryptocurrency will be huge, and blockchain technology will basically at that point take over the world. I believe everything will be using blockchain at that point, just because it's so much more secure and just a such better way to store data than the current systems we have. So keep holding on to your Bitcoin and keep looking towards the future. Things may be down right now, but they will not be like that in the coming years and possibly in the coming weeks and months. Moving on to my next article. This one is some positive news for the current market coming in the next couple weeks. Starbucks now holds significant equity in the upcoming crypto platform BAKKT. According to a new report, the coffee giant earned its shares as part of a mutually beneficial agreement. Starbucks will install BAKKT's payment software in its stores, which customers can use to pay with crypto. The digital assets will be instantly converted to fiat in order to keep cryptocurrencies off of Starbucks books. The amount of equity Starbucks has received in the deal is confidential, but sources suggest it is disappropriately high given they did not actually make a cash investment. Starbucks' partnership with BAKKT was first revealed back in August of last year. BAKKT plans to offer multiple crypto-related services this year. The company, which is owned by ICE, the Intercontinental Exchange, which is also the owner of the New York Stock Exchange, is working to launch physically backed Bitcoin futures pending approval from the U.S. Commodity and Futures Trading Commission. Phase 2 of its operation, which includes its partnership with Starbucks and Microsoft, is also set to launch later this year. The second phase is designed to utilize Microsoft's cloud solutions to allow people to buy, sell, store, and spend cryptocurrencies on the global network, powering the aforementioned plan to give Starbucks customers a way to buy food and drinks with crypto. Back in August, Starbucks Vice President of Partnerships and Payments Maria Smith outlined the company's plans with BAKKT, going on to quote, "As a flagship retailer, Starbucks will play a pivotal role in developing practical, trusted, and regulated applications for consumers to convert their digital assets into US dollars to use at Starbucks. As a leader in mobile pay, our more than 15 million Starbucks Rewards members, Starbucks is committed to innovation for expanding payment options for our customers. Crypto payments are expected to come as early as May of this year. Keep that in mind, guys. If Starbucks allows, well, first of all, BAKKT opening up in general and providing Bitcoin, physically backed Bitcoin's futures contracts is going to be a very, very, very big thing for the market by itself, just because all the institutional money that is afraid of crypto right now because they do not have a good custody solution will be most likely jumping into BAKKT when they open up. Along with that, allowing payments for Starbucks in March brings a whole new, like, just think of how many people you go to Starbucks on a daily basis. Every morning there are lines at every Starbucks drive-through out the parking lot. And imagine if all these people are now having the ability to pay with Bitcoin, and if they have a campaign along with that, if they actually advertise this properly, then all these people just instantly get introduced to cryptocurrency. As you may know, the people who know and use cryptocurrency as of right now is a very small amount of the population, and it's things like this that will bring mass adoption. And also, going on to that month of May, May is about 3 months away, and I believe this will be issued towards the end of May, so we're looking at almost 4 months from now when this happens. And going back to this monthly chart on TradingView, we can see that if we keep having positive price action and we keep moving this MACD further and further towards the neutral line, we can see a crossover happen in about 4 months, if you visualize how these bars would decrease, right about here, about 4 months away, we would have a positive cross on the monthly MACD, which would signal a very bearish or bullish market. So, all in all, that is my view of what is happening in the market, where I think Bitcoin will go. Personally, I think we will find support on the 100-day moving average as of right now, which will keep us at about the $3,700 level, dipping slightly into the high $3,600 level. And I believe if we find that support, we will be moving to the $4,200 level and possibly higher. But if not, we will probably find that double bottom at the $3,100 level, find support, and gradually move up from there. And keep in mind, as I've stated in many of my videos, BAKKT, SBI virtual currencies, and the NASDAQ and Fidelity are all planning to open up platforms supposedly in this month of March. So if those platforms do successfully open up and they go well, then we can very well see a massive turn in the market that will literally come out of nowhere, and that may be all we need to start the next bull run. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up this video. Thank you guys for making it this far. I appreciate it. And if you guys liked my content and information, please like and subscribe, and have a great day.